Hello students, today we are going to be looking at class 12 CBSE sample paper. क्या आपने अभी तक CBSE का सैम्पल पेपर नहीं देखा है? तो CBSE ने सैम्पल पेपर्स रिलीज कर दिए हैं और बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि आप CBSE के सैम्पल पेपर को अच्छी तरह स्टडी करें। आपका सवाल ये होगा कि सैम्पल पेपर्स क्यों इतने इम्पोर्टेंट हैं? बिलीव मी, दे आर वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज दे गिव यू मॉडल स्ट्रैटेजी। सैम्पल पेपर से आपको पेपर का पैटर्न अच्छे से पता चल जाता है, आप टाइम मैनेजमेंट प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं और आप मॉडल मार्किंग स्कीम स्टडी करके अपने आंसर्स अच्छे से प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं। तो अगर आपने सैम्पल पेपर को नहीं देखा है तो आज मेरे साथ आप सैम्पल पेपर को स्टेप बाय स्टेप अच्छे से स्टडी कर सकते हैं। तो जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं ये 2025-26 का सैम्पल पेपर है। 3 घंटे का आपका पेपर होता है और जनरल इंस्ट्रक्शंस में ही आपको पता चल जाएगा कि आपके पास 13 क्वेश्चंस हैं। ऑल क्वेश्चंस आर कंपल्सरी। आपका पेपर 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड है। सेक्शन A इज रीडिंग स्किल, सेक्शन B इज क्रिएटिव राइटिंग स्किल एंड सेक्शन C इज लिटरेचर. As you can see, you are supposed to attempt all questions based on specific instructions for each part, and you have to write the correct question number and part on the answer sheet. It's very important कि आप ये सब करें क्योंकि कई बार स्टूडेंट्स आंसर तो सही लिखते हैं लेकिन क्वेश्चन सही मार्क करना भूल जाते हैं। तो इंस्ट्रक्शंस अगर आपने सैम्पल पेपर की पढ़ ली हैं तो आपको फाइनल पेपर में अगेन टाइम नहीं बिताना पड़ेगा ये इंस्ट्रक्शंस स्टडी करने के लिए। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड फाइनली यू हैव टू स्टिक टू द वर्ड लिमिट बिकॉज वर्ड लिमिट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। नाउ कम्स द रीडिंग सेक्शन। रीडिंग सेक्शन, आई नो बहुत से बच्चे रीडिंग सेक्शन से बहुत डरते हैं, बट बिलीव मी रीडिंग सेक्शन आपकी स्कोरिंग के लिए, आपकी परसेंटेज बनाने के लिए बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है। तो इसको क्रैक करने का एक फॉर्मूला होता है एंड बिलीव मी आज हम साइड बाय साइड इसको पढ़ेंगे साथ के साथ और हम स्टडी करेंगे कि किसी भी रीडिंग सेक्शन के पैसेज को कैसे बहुत अच्छे से हम आंसर कर सकते हैं। इनफैक्ट मेरा आपसे ये सवाल है कि जब आप एग्जाम के प्रेशर के अंडर रीडिंग स्किल का कोई पैसेज पढ़ते हैं देन हाउ डू यू डू इट? Do you read it word by word like a story, or do you skim it super fast and miss the details, or finally do you panic and underline every single line? I want to hear your answers. Drop your answers in the comments because by the end of this video you will know which strategy actually works the best. आज के पेपर में अगर आप देख सकते हैं कि ये पैसेज जो है एक नॉवल से लिया गया है, बट मैं यही कहूँगी कि आपको रीडिंग पैसेज को एक पजल की तरह लेना है। यू हैव टू स्टार्ट बाय रीडिंग द क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट। सो लेट्स स्किप द पैसेज एंड लुक एट द क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट। जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, आई एम स्क्रॉलिंग थ्रू द डाउन द पैसेज। द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन itself says which textual evidence tells us that Pip was trembling. Another question is complete the following with a suitable reason. The writer refers to the sea as a savage lair. And you can also see the third question that the writer emphasizes Pip's vulnerability in all of the following ways except. एक बार में I would suggest कि आप 3 से ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन ना पढ़ें because once again if you don't know what the passage is about you are going to get lost in the detail. So reading 3 questions and then starting to read the passage is perhaps the best strategy. Let me know if there is something else that you feel is better and what works for you. Now let's go back to the passage and look at what the passage is trying to tell us. So एक क्वेश्चन आप लोगों से कि क्यों हम लोग पहले पैसेज से भी पहले क्वेश्चंस पढ़ना चाहते हैं। आई वुड से दैट योर ब्रेन एक्चुअली वर्क्स लाइक गूगल। जब आपको कीवर्ड्स पता होते हैं, व्हेन यू नो व्हाट इज इट दैट यू आर सर्चिंग फॉर, योर आईज विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्कैन द पैसेज फास्टर. So when the question asks you what evidence shows Pip was trembling, you would be looking for the word Pip and why he was trembling. Your brain starts hunting for words like, shiver, tremble, teeth chattering, and that's time saved and marks gained. So let's have a look that, what is the word. that probably tells you that Pip was trembling. Let's read it together. So what do you think? Which word tells you? The small bundle of shivers. So what is the first tip? Tip is to scan smartly, not reading word by word. Now let us look at the second question. The second question, the writer refers to sea as a savage lair. Now what is it? What is the reason for this? You could be writing anything from, that the sea is wild, untamed, menacing force, contributing to the ominous atmosphere of the scene, amplifying the sense of danger that Pip feels. Now this sentence that I've read, it is from the marking scheme. And the marking scheme gives you model answers. But believe me, if you are not able to write these high sounding words, you can simply write that the sea feels threatening, that the sea feels cold, that the sea feels tough, and the sea feels a place of danger. And that's why the sea has been referred to as a savage lair. Now, question number 3, the writer emphasizes Pip's vulnerability in all of the following ways except. So, you've been given 4 options, and if you read carefully, you would see that students, this is a trap question, and that is my tip number 2, that always watch out for trap questions. Now, CBSE loves putting in one option which is, not right, but always sounds right. So for example, when you look at it, Pip's vulnerability was shown through the landscape, through the behavior of the man, through his helplessness or knowledge of the area. Now in this question, I know that many students would rush and pick helplessness and fear because it sounds very close to vulnerability. But if you pause, you would realize that that is the odd one out. So students, look out for trap questions and don't rush to pick options which sound right but which may not be right. Always eliminate the wrong answers. So here you can see that the word except has been written in bold because the examiner actually wants you to pay attention to this fact. So here the correct answer is D, via Pip's knowledge of the surrounding area. Now moving on to the next question, if we see what type of statement is made in the phrase keep still or I'll make you pay. And you have been given 4 options, if it's a caution, if it's a threat, if it's a prediction, or is it an announcement. So the marking scheme tells you, quite clearly that why it's not a caution. Because had it been a caution, it would be advice. And when, the stranger tells him something like this, it cannot be seen as advice, that I'll make you pay. When someone tells you this, कि भुगतना पड़ेगा बेटा, तो कॉशन तो बिल्कुल नहीं है, एडवाइस तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. सिमिलरली अगर प्रिडिक्शन की बात करें तो प्रिडिक्शन क्या होती है? प्रिडिक्शन इज अ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट विल हैपन इन फ्यूचर. Similarly, announcement would be a formal declaration. So out of all these 4, this is clearly a threat, right? The child Pip is being threatened, right? So moving on, the next question talks to you about based on the initial appearance, how can we say that the fearful man was in a state of discomfort? And there are many reasons, but you have been asked to give one reason. So if you look in the passage, you will be able to identify, yes, that there are many reasons. So one reason could be that he's soaked in water and he's smothered in mud, and these conditions typically imply discomfort. Secondly, he's also limping, means he is injured his foot, and maybe he's under strain, which can also indicate discomfort. Another word that tells you that he is probably in a, is not comfortable is that he's shivering, his teeth are chattering, which suggests that, one, he's cold, secondly, he's nervous, and both of which are associated with discomfort. So that takes care of this question. Now, moving on, which one of the following statement best explains the phrase "give it mouth"? And you have been given 4 options. So the phrase is not specifically asking for, increased volume. So the first one, speak loudly, would not be correct. The phrase is actually asking Pip to speak it out, to give it to give a verbal response. So in this one, which option do you think would be correct? So yes, the answer to this question is, so my friend, if you found these tips helpful, do share, subscribe, like, and tell your friends about the video, because in the next video, I will be talking about the writing skills, the writing strategies, where most students actually lose marks without even realizing it. So see you next time. Bye bye. That is the option C. Then the next question, the man ate the bread ravenously. What does the word suggest about his condition? Now here you have to connect the word with the emotion. When a person is eating ravenously, that means what? You need to decode the psychology of that word. So what do you think the writer is trying to say? Here, the writer is probably trying to indicate that he was very hungry, and he was eating like a madman, someone who hasn't had food for a long time. So if you will be able to connect the word with the emotion that it is trying to convey, you will be able to give the correct answer. So inference is not always about what the text is saying. It is also about the context in which a word is being used. So it's very important that you are able to understand the context. Now moving on, what does the man's question, "Where is your mother?" and his reaction when Pip points to her suggest about his intentions? Now you can see that this is a 2 marks answer. Till now you only had 1 mark answer. Now here I would suggest that if the question is only 1 mark, you need not write too much. But for 2 marks, yes, the word limit has been given to you that you need to write your answer in 40 words. And the marking scheme also gives you the correct or the model answers that you need to. Now, for this question, the marking scheme says that it suggests that he is trying to gather information about Pip's family, which is true. When he asks about Pip's mother and looks over his shoulder, it shows that he is possibly evaluating his surroundings or considering where Pip's family might be, perhaps to assess if anyone is around to stop him, and contemplating the best way to proceed without interference. Once again, good words, good language, but if you want to write in simpler language also, you are most welcome. All that you need to do is convey why this kind of a question has been asked. Now moving on, how does the man's action of forcing Pip to look up contribute to the tension? Now once again, this particular question is about the author's technique. What is why he's using certain words, or what is he trying to say? Now in this, we can say that this action actually increases the tension by emphasizing the power dynamic. Now he is physically tilting Pip backward, which is making him feel small and defenseless. And the word vulnerable has been used again and again, and once again in this situation Pip becomes all the more vulnerable, and it also intensifies the fear that he feels. Now the man's control over Pip's position enhances the sense of threat and creating a more uneasy atmosphere in the scene. So you should be able to convey this emotion. And finally, you have the 10th question. You have been asked to complete the following with the most suitable option, and you have been given 4 options. The main idea of the text is, the main idea of the text is, of course, Pip's encounter with a frightening man who demands information. So, the very first option is the correct answer because it directly addresses the core of the scene, where the man's aggressive behavior and questioning of Pip create that fear and tension. And the second option is the harshness of Pip's environment and the fear it creates, that although it is relevant to the setting, we cannot say that it encapsulates the main idea. Similarly, the third option, Pip's struggle to understand the man's intentions and stay calm, could have been possible, but it is more of the internal reaction of Pip rather than the central idea of the text. And finally, the fourth option is the importance of family relationships in Pip's life. No, it does not capture the primary conflict of the scene, and the family in this context has been just briefly mentioned. So students, as you can see that the first passage has 10 questions, 8 questions are for 1 mark, and there are 2 questions which are for 2 marks each. Now here you can see that it's a very easily scoreable topic. You also have the second passage, which is the case-based passage, and this passage is for 10 marks. Now, when attempting the reading section, I would say that it's very important to manage your time like a pro. And here I would like to share one technique, what I call the 8+10 rule. Now, you would say that what is this rule? I would say that, always spend only 8 minutes on one passage, 8 minutes on the second passage, and finally 10 minutes for revision. If you feel 8 minutes is too less, maybe, we can make it 10+10+10, but never spend more than 30 minutes on the reading section. Now, it's very important because the more time you are able to save here, the more time you will be able to give your creative writing section as well as your literature. Because as you can see that the word creative is there, you need to use your creativity there. In reading section, creativity is not required, not so much required. And think of it, I would say that think of this section as a warm-up. You just need to be sharp. If you get stuck at a question, ask yourself, is it worth the 2 minutes that I'm going to spend here, or should I just move on and secure the next 20 marks? So this little, mindset shift can really boost your score massively. I would say that, CBSE does not want you to actually write long answers here. You need to keep them short. So do write your answers just like CBSE expects, no flowery language is required. If the question is just worth 1 mark, just write 3-4 words or just 1 or 2 phrases. It's the, if you are writing the key phrase there, or, if you are conveying the answer, then you don't need to write too much here. You need to actually conserve the energy that you have for your long answers. Now, I am going to be going through the rest of the paper with you in the next episode. If you want me to do the creative writing section in great detail, do write writing in the comment box section. Now, thank you. Stay with me for the next one.